Hi, I'm Jay, and I'm going to walk you through how to solve a night killer Sudoku. The first thing I'll do is hit Control A to fill in all of the hints in the grid, and go through number by number and eliminate all the ones that we know cannot be correct in the grid already. We'll begin with a quick scan, and I don't see any numbers that are isolated all by themselves. So then we start to turn to strategies like pointing partners. For example, in this column, I have a 1, a 6, an 8, and a 9 that can only be in these squares. These four have to contain the combination 1, 6, 8, 9 in some order. That means these two cannot contain a 1 or a 6, which gives us our first number, a 3. And then a 7 there. And that looks like that's it for that set. I will also note that out of that set of 4, only these two can have a 6, which means there's no other 6 in that square. We've already taken care of all the 6's in this column, but you'll notice that these two squares both have influence over this square right here, so it cannot be a 6. Likewise, the 8's have to be in one of those 3 squares. Is there anything that is impacted by all 3 of those? This square in the bottom right corner cannot have an 8 because it's influenced by all 3 of those. Let's look for another set of partners. How about 1, 5, 8, 9, which can only appear in those 4? That means we cannot have a 1, a 5, or an 8 anywhere else in that square, giving us another 7 and another 3. Okay, what do we have next? This 1, 5 looks like a promising start. Notice that none of those contain an 8 as one of the possibilities. The only possible space for an 8 is here, so we'll fill that in. We have a similar thing up here, 1, 2, 4, and 6 in this set of 4. The only place we can have an 8 is here. One thing that has afforded us is this only 8's at the top of this bottom right square, which means the 8 has to be in one of those 2 positions. Since those are in the same row, we can remove all the other 8's in that row. These 2 6's tell us there are no 6's down here, but we've already eliminated all of those. What else can we find unique within a row or a column? The 3's only appear at the top in this square, which means we can't have any 3's going across. And the only spot in the row below it that has a 3 is this square. So we'll fill in our 3 there. Looking in the square up above, since we've ruled out all the 3's here, there are none in the center, and there's only one on the right side, thanks to that guy. So we can put our 3 in here. Following from this 3 and this, we know that the one on the left side has to be on the top somewhere. And this is the only spot we have available for a 3. Since we have a 3 in this column and a 3 in this column, in our middle square on the left, the 3 would have to be at the top. And that gives us all the 3's in the puzzle and a pretty solid start. While we're in this square, we'll notice that now we only have 2's in the center. So I can remove this 2 at the bottom. And that means the only spots left for a 2 are on the right side here. Is there any square that both of those influence that has a 2 marked in it? No, not right at the moment. Oh, hey, I see a 1, 5, 8, 9 set of partners. So that means nowhere else in this row can have a 1, a 5, an 8, or a 9. We'll get rid of the 1's, 5's, and the 9's. And that gives us a couple of lonesome numbers we can fill in. A 2, a 4, and a 6. Oh, here's one. We've got 1, 5, 9 triples here. There can only be a 1, a 5, or a 9 in those 3 squares, meaning it can't be in any of the others in here. And that gives us a lonesome 8, a lonesome 7, which gives us a 4, which gives us a 6. Since those 2 are the only ones that can contain a 9 in this square, that means neither of these can contain a 9. We have a 1, 5 pair vertically, which means this can't be a 1 or a 5. It has to be a 7. And that gives us a 1, 4, 5 triple here, which means nothing else in this square can have a 1, a 4, or a 5. That gives us a 6, 9 pair here. There are no more 9's in this column. And this 6, 9 pair both see this square here, so it cannot be a 6 or a 9. Can we do anything with this across? We have a 1, 5, 6 triple. Since only the numbers 1, 5, and 6 are in those 3, and it's in those 3 alone, this cannot be a 1 or a 5 or a 6. That leaves us with a 4 that we can fill in here, and that gets rid of those 3 4's, meaning this is the only spot left a 4 can go. That gives us a lonesome 1, we'll fill it in, a lonesome 5, another lonesome 1, and a 5, and a 9. And from here, we're getting quite a few that we can fill in right away. We'll just chase these single numbers around the board and fill in as many of those as we can. Down at the bottom, we have a 1, a 2, an 8, a 5, 1 here. It gives us a 2, a 1, a 5, a 2, an 8, 5, 9, 8. You hit a certain point where it becomes just a giant chain reaction. And just like that, we have solved the night Sudoku for today. I hope that this guide's been helpful for getting you started and rolling along with some of the additional rules in chess Sudoku. Thank you, and we hope to see you at the site.